talk about three different topics for each person, of course. As you should already know, my Crazy Down the Rabbit Hole page. And anyone who pops up on one of my three platforms that I'm advertising to and streaming to, you can say whatever the hell you want. But of course, I just want you guys to know I'm using Restream. Restream allows you to stream live to 30 plus platforms at the same time. And that's the great benefit for using Restream. Now, StreamYard, however, you have to pay to actually use their multiple platform thing. And I thought that's not kind of fair. That's not cool. But the problem with StreamYard also as well, you can only mute your mic, okay? If there's noise in the background, mute your mic. If there's any on StreamYard, you can only get 20 hours a month. Okay. Now in Restream, I don't know how many hours you get. So I'm just going to put that out there right now. Okay. So let's start with our topics, and we're going to talk. I'm going to see who's on here. I can see whoever's talking to me from YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch, because I'm a gamer as well. I come on at night, and after this stream is up, I am basically going to be gaming. Okay. So I'll be on 11 o'clock that night. So let's get on with the subject now here. So today's topic will be about, I gotta go to here in the messenger app. So I will be talking about the three things I'm gonna be talking about is the fastest weight loss techniques, who is the fifth Ninja Turtle, and about comic book world, how to and how do you raise and discipline your children. Okay, Thomas will be talking about how to let kids be themselves, hardship on parents, and also healing with issues and how to keep calm. Tyson will be talking about, Donatello will be talking about a beginning of money control, learning how to know your wealth, dealing with not your 9 to 5, knowing the difference between your job and what you do for a living. And Michelangelo, Frankie will be talking about if the heart is soiled, what shovel you would need to break the surface to plant the seed of love. Do you believe there are stages of love, stages to love, and how do you manifest love? Now, okay, let's start with who are we going to start with? We're going to start with you, Thomas?
It's okay.
All right, so we're talking about you. We're going to talk about your three subjects now here. I'm going to keep this down here. I'm going to have to, hold on, copy and paste this. Okay, copy this and put it down here. Hold on, put it in the messenger so I can see real quick. Boom. All right. Okay, so Thomas, your topics are how to let kids be themselves, hardship on parents, and healing with issues, and how to keep them calm. What do you want to talk about first?
How to let kids be themselves.
All right, let's talk about that. So go ahead.
Well, first of all, I like to even start off, PTYMNATION all day, every day, one day at a time, one step at a time. And the reason why I always go with I want to go with the topic how to let kids be themselves, because I think a lot of parents and grown-ups do the same thing that recycles over and over when we become adults and we send it down to the next children. We actually domesticate our own kids and we try to lock them down to what we think or what we want them to be, instead of letting them actually feel like what's inside their heart and letting them do what they want to do. It's not saying let them go running wild. We have to discipline them when they do right and wrong according to us. But at the same token, we also have to have an open mind and understand this is not our world. It's not our same generation that we came up in back in the days. So we also have to make sure that we always say, hey, what are some of the things that you want to do? And just follow through with them, even though we don't see it and we're not as open to it as we would be as if we was kids. Mm-hmm. And the reason why I always want to make sure we even speak about that is because it's a real difficult time with a lot of people even just letting their kids be themselves, even letting them make their own mistakes and making their own errors in their own life. Because my father always told me experience is always going to be the best teacher. So the more you let your kids experiment and be out there, they will truly understand and to become their one self or who they really want to be. And they know they have no fear of being who they want to be because their parents are not holding them down and restricting them to their own domestications.
Go ahead, Frankie. What do you think about that? You got any thoughts about that? Unmute your mic.
Like, I think that's a very complex topic, and but I'm glad that you said that it's still in the guidelines of what's right and what's wrong. You're still going to guide them, but allow them to be free in choosing what direction they're going to go in. I understand that. Should allow them to be free in choosing what direction, and allow them to be themselves and allow them to make mistakes. But you're always there to lift and pick them up.
Make sure you back them up. When they actually do fall, make an error, you gotta be there. Like, all right, you learn from that. Now you go do it again, but don't do the same error.
Right, but that comes when they starting to go into adulthood. But at a young age, you do want to give them the proper direction, which you know what is right and what's wrong, because you got the experience, you got the wisdom.
But I'm at a young age, you want to explain to them what's right and what's wrong. But at the same token, you still got to let them choose to be themselves, no matter what they choose. Because once you try to lock them down too much, guess what they're going to do? They're going to take the opposite of no matter what you say.
Oh, okay, so you're saying, let me play devil's advocate. So Dwayne Wade is right what he's doing.
Is Dwayne Wade right for what he's doing?
Yeah.
I think Dwayne Wade is right up to a certain extent. See, the reason why I say up to a certain extent, if his kid decides to be that, yes, he has to let him choose that and see that as wrong for himself. For him to back up and start airing himself, or like to justify himself so that he's justifying his kid, no, that's where he's wrong at. Because I'm not going to change myself for what my kid has chosen to do. So if he chose that, I would have to support my kid.
At 10? At 8?
At whatever age. Because don't forget, this is a totally different generation. But the way kids learn, see, the problem with you not understanding is the way kids learn is, all right, you might choose this now, but you're watching a real daddy, you're watching a real mommy and daddy. So at that young age, you might be like, oh, I think this is it. But when you grow up, you're going to snap out of that, because I'm going to say, hey, my mother and my father never did this before. So the problem is, just like what you just about to say right now.
So hold on, guys.
Now,
okay, so hold on, guys. Maurice, change your one life. What do you have to say about this so far?
I think this is how I feel. What Thomas is saying, I feel I definitely understand, and I agree with, because I definitely agree with letting your kids grow up and grow a bit, let them choose their own routes. I think that's what he's basically trying to say. Choose your own routes and whatever you want to do.
What about if children influence the parents, like what Thomas was talking about? He's now he's doing little faggot things again.
I ain't want to say it like that, man, Dale, but
this is my point. On the other side of things, you got the world influencing the children also. Now, you got two battles going on. Now, the things that at a young age, when they don't know what direction they're going in. Now, we all I don't know if you guys been there, but if you don't know what direction you're going in, and at a certain age, what?
As a parent, you talking about don't know what direction you're going in?
As a child, when there's so many things influencing you. And it
could be many things that influence you, but you know who got the most influence and people fail to realize they how much influence they have? It is the parents. The parents have the most influence over their kid, period.
If the parents, but you also got to correct them. If they're choosing them, you're not going to tell your child, go. You're not going to tell your young son, you know what? You should go out there and sleep with how many girls. There's some parents who do it. You could go out there.
You just said it, though.
What?
As a real man, you just said it. I'm not going to tell my child, but guess what? I'm going to show my child in my action and in my ways. So if you do decide to go that way, by the time he realize it might take him a year, it might take him 2 years to snap out of it. And he'll realize, oh, look what my parents doing. Maybe this is the right way to go. I dabbled in that.
Change your life. Change your life. Okay, guys. Okay. Change your life. What do you think about this? Go ahead. I want to hear what you had to say.
I agree. I agree with what Tom was saying. The same people going in the same direction. What I was trying to say the first time is that it's scary, and that's what it is. It's a very scary subject. Especially when someone that have children, you want them to go the right path. You want them to go their own way, but as an adult, you do know what's the right and the wrong way. But just as we were children, our parents told us certain things, and unfortunately, we didn't listen, and we had to learn the hard way. And I'm speaking from experience. I'm pretty sure they are too. That my kids had a rough route, what they go through, but thank God that I was in their corner. They did see me as a father that's always there. They did see me as a father that provides for chase my dream. So I also teach them all those same things into them, and that's what they learn. but they did have a lot of errors in their way, just like I did as a person. And I think as any person did, we got to have errors to know what we're doing wrong to go that correct path.
Okay, so my opinion of this is that you show them their errors of their ways through by showing the suffering of others. Like, for example, like when I saw my sister doing some things when she was younger, okay, I kind of knew automatically that you got to look at other people who did the same thing. Okay, like for example, you know how prostitutes, they have a terrible life later on in their life because they have used their bodies up to a point. And so they have rode the carousel, you want to call it, and now they look for types of men and they can't find the right men because of that. Just like a drug dealer. Drug dealers usually end up incarcerated. So you got to show your child what incarceration is like. You got to show your child that if they do this, look what's going to happen to you. Like I tell my daughters, I say, hey, you want to be a prostitute? You want to be like those girls who's dancing? Do you know what's going to happen to you? If you ask questions and you look them in their eyes and you focus that energy, they will listen. But they won't listen if they have some kind of subpar block, psychological block. Like I do realize that you can do the best you can,
Right.
but there's limitation. You can't do too much. To me, I got a low tolerance, so I don't have my daughters living with me, and I know the long outrun of me having daughters. I'm good with kids. I'm actually an expert at it. I'm good because I've been around so many kids. But there's some kids who just won't listen. You cannot train them. The only way to train them is to get rid of them or put them in a facility where they can learn. And that's all I got to say about that. Okay.
But of course, eventually they're gonna make their own decisions, especially when they're teenagers. Children, like you said, like you were saying, that regardless of what you do, they're gonna make their choices. But you're only there to correct them and give them the right path. You can tell them, listen, I need you to drink water every day. I need you to drink water every day. Drink water. But at the end of the day, it's gonna be their choice.
Mm-hmm.
And if they're wise, they'll listen. If they're not wise, like most of us, they're wise and listen a little. They listen most of the time, but sometimes they won't listen.
Yeah. So let's talk about what else Thomas said. He said hardship on parents. What do you mean by that? Hardship on parents.
What I mean by that is, I know what most people say hardship on parents, and first thing that comes to their mind is parents are probably in somewhat of a struggle financially. But when I say hardship on parents, I'm talking about the hardship on the same conversation I just was having before, as far as like even focusing on raising their own kids. And what I mean by hardship on parents, because it's just like this whole conversation that we just had just now, it's a whole battle on decisions to make with your own kids. Do I let my kid or do I not let my kid? Do I let my kid decide on his own, or do I domesticate him so much where I just want him to be like me?
So are you talking about the hardship on the parents because of the actions your child makes? Okay,
the
and it makes it hard.
Yes, the action that your child makes. Are you sitting
and
there letting
it
your
can
child
actually cause a hardship on the parents, right?
Yes. Because some of the decisions that kids make, the parents are the one that have to look at it and be like, how far do I let this go before I get to you?
Yeah, what do you think about this, Frankie? Frankie, you gotta get everybody's perspective. Frankie.
Hardship. Well,
don't your kids make certain decisions that cause you some hardship? Is that true? Is it going on?
Well, I think when the children get a certain age, it's always going to be like that because like the last subject, you can't control them. At a certain age, they're going to have to make their own decisions. You can't be there. You can't be 24 hours a day, and you can't choose for them. At a certain age, they're going to choose for themselves with the decision they make, and they have to live with their decisions, basically. But the hardship on parents is allowing them to make those decisions and still being there also for them when they make that bad decision. Some people want to push their children away. That bond, that relationship is broken. Like, let's say a young man get a young girl pregnant. A lot of families, or a young woman get pregnant, a lot of families cast that girl out. And because the hardship on them is too much, and they don't know how to balance that relationship and walk with that person and walk with that young woman as she go through this bad decision, or drugs. Let's take drugs. You got young people taking drugs. Their parents never taught them how to take drugs. It's just that they was peer pressure or something in their brain.
They decided to choose. They want to try it.
Right. But and some people push their kids. Oh, if you don't do drugs in my house, I'm casting you out my house. That's the worst thing you can do.
Because now they become drug addicts.
Yeah, you gotta.
That's the easiest way for a kid to become a drug addict.
Right. You want to walk with them. You really want to walk with them and through this journey, so you can still give them guidance. And one day they may wake up and say, you know what? This is the right way. I know which way to go. My parents told me.
Maurice, what do you think about this? Change one life. What do you think about this?
I think as a parent, the percentage of you getting hardship is going to be great. Basically, like it's almost guaranteed.
Right.
Because it's just the hardship of your children. It's your children. You don't want to see them hurt. You don't want them to see to go through any struggle, any pain. So I think the hardship is going to be a guaranteed thing in how we deal with it. And I think that is the difference, how people deal with it. Frankie's right. Some people do go to a certain extreme that me personally, I wouldn't go to. I always will be there. They always depend on me. The problem is when do you break that? So as a child under 10, you always want to be there, even up to 14. But when they're like 16, 18, almost an adult, you kind of letting the strings go. When do you break that pattern to let them, okay, hey, I got to let you fail for you to succeed.
Yeah, because that's the only way you're going to learn is through experience.
Yeah, I'm always there to talk. I'm always there to talk to you. You need me. I'm always there for you. I'm not going to let you go without. But when do you break that bond and say, okay, hey, you got to go. Hey, listen, do what you got to do. I love you to death. Whatever you need, come back to me when you're ready. But go ahead. You have to fail for you to succeed.
Yeah, so my perspective about this is prevention, okay? Because all of my experience from the past, I try to implement this to my daughters again, but I know that I don't want to have no hardships because I have a psychological low tolerance for certain things. So even though they are my daughters and I do care, I can only have tough love. Tough love is the best medicine to me for most children, okay? Because a lot of people don't believe in tough love. And I have a limited amount of stress that I can deal with when it comes down to some sort of retardation in a child or some sort of autism. I can't deal with that. That's really hard. Okay. So when I see other children acting in a certain way, I have to think about prevention for yourself. I think it's best for all of you to protect yourself so your child won't end up. If my daughter ever loses drugs, oh my God, she would know my emotion before it even happened. I've encountered so many women and daughters that use drugs and their parents don't even care about them because they lack the proper tough love. They didn't have no father figure. They're not around. And this is a big problem in society. So I believe that we should just take tough love. Daughters are harder to raise from my perspective, from when all of the females and men I was talking to, all of the boys, daughters are definitely 10 times harder. And so I don't have my daughters living with me. So I just tell my daughters, daddy's wise. You get more if you listen. And if you don't listen, I can't help you. Okay. You ain't living with me. If you do drugs, you're done. Okay. And I know it may sound hard to you, Frankie, but tough love.
That sounds hard to me too.
I know it sounds hard, but if I told you while you're raising up that if you experiment with any form of boy, and you ain't talk to me and I'm open with you, we are cut. We cannot trust each other. I cannot trust you. I cannot do it.
I know it's hard, but it works. That's kind of harsh.
I know it's hard, but it works. But you got to be careful. It works. Trust me, it works. If you just implement it the correct way, like if you put it there, like, okay, every day you say, okay, remember, you go out the door, don't socialize. I don't care what they say. I don't want to hear no abortions. You can't hide nothing from me. You go outside. That's why I recommend all you to homeschool. Because once you put them out there in society, there's a problem. Okay.
But you also putting your own child in a box too.
No, you're not. As a matter of fact, my daughter.
Because if your child is not going to be used to being in society, what happens when you're born?
But listen what I'm saying. Listen. When you come in my world, you're never in the box. You're never in the box. The box means where's your body at? Your body is, as Frankie, please explain to me what you mean.
Say in a box.
Go ahead. What
But
do you
if you
mean?
lock them down from society, they're not going to know how to deal with society when they have to actually step out of your house. If you constantly keep them locked up
Okay.
in
Now,
the house.
I understand what you're saying now, but you can train them psychologically to do this. You can actually train your children in the house while they're online. There's different things that they can, tools that they can use. My daughters, you know what my daughters do when I take them to the park? They don't want to hang around those other kids because those other kids, they can sense something wrong. I said, go ahead and play with them. Go ahead and play with the other kids. He said, these kids are not like us. And I didn't teach them that. I did not teach my daughters that. So it's a good thing. But
So
you know what? I implement my daughters to say everybody's different. I tell my daughters, hey, this do what you got to
Bert,
do.
you got something to say?
yeah, so I think we could end right here. Let's go to our next subject. I think
Okay, yeah.
everyone before that,
Okay.
everyone knows everyone has a different opinion here.
Okay.
That's
So
all.
healing with issues and how to keep them. This is the last one for Thomas.
Healing with issues. Would you repeat that? Because that's wrong.
Well, the way you written it, you said healing. How I think you meant how to heal with issues and how to keep calm.
How to deal with issues and keep calm.
Yeah. That's how you. That's
How to deal with issues and keep calm.
Yeah.
Just to even start up the whole entire subject, I've been basically changing my whole metaphor on my own, on the way I think, the way I move, and my own personal actions. Because I used to, like they call me Raphael for a reason. Short-tempered, you say something wrong, I might jump all over you. You can look at me funny, I might jump all over you. But me changing slowly, I'm learning that back to what I said, even from other previous recordings, I learned a lot from the 4 agreements. Making sure I don't take people's words so personal anymore. Making sure I don't assume anymore. Making sure I try to keep myself calm and collective at all times. Because what you thinking is your own personal opinion, and it's not my reality. So I have to make sure I keep those things in mind to make sure I stay calm and I don't even react so quickly anymore.
So how do you do it? How you stay calm? So
I
when I
read.
say I'll screw your head up, I'll bust your head, and so you be driving in the car, right? And somebody just tried to, Frankie, you went through this one time. You was driving and somebody tried to bail you off the road.
Well,
So how would you deal with that?
The way that you deal with that is you have to look at when people say something crazy towards you, they're really not saying it to you. That means there's really something going on with them themselves, where they have to feel like they have to let out their anger on you because that's the only way they can release themselves. They don't know any other way of releasing their own anger that's inside, that's built up in them. So that's the way that in my brain I automatically say, I'm not going to take that personal. I could just look at them. Or I might even just laugh at them and just keep on going.
What about you, Frankie? How you deal with it? Unmute you.
What's the question again?
It's about how do you deal with stress and how to keep calm? How do you heal from it?
How do you heal from stress and keeping calm?
Yeah, Thomas, that was your question. Explain it to him, you know.
How do you deal with people coming at you? How do you deal with people who go showing such aggression at you for no apparent reason? Or say, for instance, basically sudden, just for an example, somebody could at work get angry at you and they automatically call you stupid. Oh, how do you deal with that without ripping their head off, basically?
Oh, I'm really good at that now. I'm really good, especially like interaction.
But that's what the whole thing is about. Explain how do you become real good at that?
Basically, I learned that wasting the energy and just seeing a person like you said, seeing it for what it really is. Why? There's a reason why that person is doing that, and it's not about you. And a soft answer turn away wrath. So if a person is angry, you got to give them an opportunity to come back down, especially if you can control the situation. Basically, if you keep calm and cool, basically you're in control. Anytime somebody's in rage or have a wrath, they don't have any control at the moment. So basically, what I do is usually I give them a soft answer, give them an answer they don't expect, right? The most peaceful answer, and usually they'll snap back into reality, and then we can talk. But the thing is, for you not to lose control, you not to get in such a rage where you don't know what you're saying. Basically, you want to move that energy away from you so you can have a clear head, so you could communicate. So I still sometimes I don't. Sometimes if it's a real tense situation, sometimes I don't control it. But usually I can control it because I'll catch it really quick and I'll give an answer a person don't expect, especially when they're enraged or if they're saying something totally disrespectful. They don't expect.
Hey, Frankie, hold on for a moment.
Mhm.
I'm just going to mention these guys who actually said something to us. Stephen Scott says, "What's up, brothers?" I say hello to you.
What's up?
Hassan, he's one of my Bangladeshi associates from Bangladesh. He watches us, and he's pretty fluent on the StreamYard, and he's teaching English as well. And of course, I'm doing okay, Hassan. Rayo, same for you. What's going on? How is everybody going? Everything is going okay? Okay. Let me get this. Okay, move this down here. And of course, Hassan, lastly, he says from Facebook, you don't quarrel with one another. He was talking about. Okay.
Mhm.
Other than that, continue on, Frankie. Go ahead.
Well, yeah, but that's my answer. Usually, I usually give a short answer to get the person back into basically reality, back into themselves. Because usually, when a person is enraged or they're upset about something, they really don't have control. But it's up to you to bring them back into reality. To do your best to bring them back into reality, so you can communicate.
So, Maurice, go ahead. Your turn.
All right, first, can y'all hear me?
Yep.
I hear you clearly.
All right, I had to switch my headset. So basically, I agree with Thomas and Frankie. I think one of the keys of keeping the control is basically it's not personal.
Right.
So I work in a public setting. I work with a lot of people. I work with people every day, one-on-one. But people say a lot of different things to me, and through my career, a lot of even like racist, negative things to me. But I was always the one to keep my head and basically don't take it personally, because you never know. I always tell people you never know what someone's going through. You
Right.
never know what pulled that trigger. It could have been you. It could have been the 5 things before it got to you, and that 5th or 6th thing made them snap. It's just like dealing with employees. You never know why people do the things that they do. So you gotta keep your cool, and no matter what happens, keep your cool. Don't feed into them. Mean if you get upset or you get angry, you're gonna give it energy, and then it's gonna start bubbling over. There's gonna be a back and forth thing because you're gonna feel insulted or you're gonna feel disrespected. Nah, it ain't about that life.
Okay, so
You're
what I
calm.
have to say about that is that to me, I'm a sadist. Okay, so if I'm on the basketball court, like I'm on sometimes, you have to look at your surroundings. Okay, so I'm a sadist. I'm a chaos maker. Okay, neutral. I'm a master on Facebook. So trolls, I attack the trolls on purpose, and I get banned sometimes because I usually win. But on the court and in person, when someone says something offensive, I try to get an air of who's surrounding me. Okay, you know, if the person's bigger than me, then I know I better shut that fuck up. Okay, because I know I'll win. Now I'll probably say something to offend that person, but I won't say nothing. I'm like, okay. I'll just keep going. Okay. I'll do what Frankie would just say. It's a peaceful thing because he's bigger than me. But somebody's the same size, and I'll probably might say something back. Okay, but other than that, you got to scowl. You got to look at your surroundings. Beware of your surroundings. Because I can't say. Sometimes I can't. I could dish out what I speak. But a lot of people can't dish. They can't fight back when it comes to me, though. I try my best, though, but sometimes I can't help it. But let's get on with the next subject, man. Who's next, Frankie or Tyson? Or me?
Same order. We switch it out. Go ahead. You go ahead, Mendel. Do your subjects.
Okay, you want to do me?
Yeah, do you.
Yeah.
But sometimes my subject sometimes lasts a little shorter. Okay. Fastest weight loss techniques. Who is the 5th Ninja Turtle about in the comic book and about the comic book world? How to raise and discipline your children, and pretty much talk about the fastest weight loss program. There are many fast weight loss programs. And so I've trained a lot of fat women, okay, fatty patties, okay, and Johnsons, okay, who basically think they're big and they're really not big, or they're out of shape, okay. But I believe that if people,
somebody texted responses from each other, own opinion.
Yeah, it's my opinion, okay. There's so many different weight loss techniques, but I'm gonna tell you the fastest way to lose weight is to stop eating first. and to focus on Metamucil. Okay, you know Metamucil fiber. You know, you drink your foods instead of eating your foods because when you eat, your acids in your belly and your gut is working, and you get sleepy when you eat, right? So start drinking your foods. Start drinking your foods. That's the secret and the most fastest way. Drink your food like Jack LaLanne. Jack LaLanne said it. He said that your energy will go skyrocket if you just blend your food, chew your food more. Okay, just eat 2 to 3 meals a day. But if you say 2 meals a day, you'll lose weight even faster. You got to have a strong mentality, and on top of that, you have to make sure your cardio is up because you can't sit on your ass eating cookies and bonbons for y'all women out there. Because I try to tell you girls all of the time, you got to do something different. Video games can help lose weight. Video games can actually help you lose weight. Going out playing basketball for an hour or two, like I do every day. Okay, but that's how I do it. But if you want to see my strategies, you can watch my other videos. What do you think about this, Thomas?
Well, me basically, I think it's only one proper way of losing weight. If you want to ask me, is watching what you eat and work out.
Calories.
Burn more calories than what you're putting in. That's the only way I know.
Mm-hmm.
If you take it in more calories than what you burn off, you're gonna gain weight.
Okay, Frankie, you're mute.
First of all, I don't like skinny people telling fat people how to lose weight.
I'm not skinny. I'm not anorexic.
Yo, this guy, I ain't saying you're anorexic, but you've been
I'm not skinny. Skinny is
been in
anorexic.
good shape almost all your life. Yo,
No, I don't eat nothing. Okay.
Yo, don't tell us fat people how to lose weight. All right. This guy never weighed over 200 pounds. He's talking about losing. You don't know the struggles we have.
Yes, I do. You know how many women I talk to who knows the struggle?
Especially man is one thing, woman is another thing. You know the stress women got to go through. They don't even burn fat as fast as men. Come on. Now
I know, but still they can try.
But
they can try.
But I think it's all got to do with discipline. When it comes to losing weight, you got to be disciplined. You got to have a goal. And you got to have a realistic goal, and you got to be in it for the long run, not the short run. A lot of people go in and they want to lose weight. They want to lose 50 pounds in 1 week. It doesn't happen. No, you stick to your schedule. You stick to what you want to. You stick to what you want to do, and you just be. Another thing, be happy with yourself. Be happy who you are, no matter what size you are, and commit to a goal, commit to a schedule, and continue to do it. And eventually, you get to where you want to get to.
Maurice.
Yeah, I agree. I think Frankie said it right. We are in a place where everybody wants things instantaneously. I think they want to lose weight instantaneously. They want to go on diets for a week and lose a crazy amount of pounds. It's not going to work. But like Frankie also said, is be happy first. You got to be happy with yourself first, and then visualize yourself as the happiest. Meaning that if you think you'll be more happy at 200 pounds and you weigh 250, you're going to get to that automatically because then your mind will start taking control if you're happy with yourself. Because they said the first thing about being happy with yourself is your looks. If you look good, you feel good. When you start feeling good, you start doing other things to make you feel good. The role will keep continuing and being consistent and dedicated. So that's how I feel.
Okay, so let's go on to the next subject. The next one is what I wanted to talk about is the fifth Ninja Turtle because I posted it on someone asked me, who is that? The yellow bandana fifth Ninja Turtle, and about the comic book world. Real short and simple, okay? Yeah, I hope you guys did some research. Did I give you the information, Frankie? Or you don't know about the fifth Ninja Turtle?
Girl.
Yeah, she's as a matter of fact.
That's all I know.
There you go.
As a matter of fact. Yeah. In the comic book world, okay, it was a female who was with the Foot Clan, okay, and she basically went against the Foot Clan, and she got stabbed because she went against the Foot Clan to try to hurt Splinter, right? So her name is Jenny for short. Jenny.
Ain't that Splinter's daughter?
No, she was supposed to kill Splinter because of Splinter what he did. I forgot what the long story was, but basically she changed her mind. And when she tried to change her mind, the Foot Clan stabbed her because I read the dark comics. The dark comics are way more interesting than the lighthearted cartoon show. So her name is Jenny in short. Okay, so basically she was a human, and she had high level of skill. She used the claws, right? And when she got stabbed, she almost died. And Leonardo is the one, which is me, who gave her the blood transfusion. When the blood transfusion was given to her, she transformed into a turtle. And so that is beginning of who she was, okay? And she became, she's slightly different in mutation too. She has 3 toes, okay? Instead, she's a bit shorter. She is feminine, definitely feminine energy. She has claws, a bow and arrow, and a short kadachi. She's pretty powerful. She's pretty good. And I posted that picture. People say, "Who is that?" Okay, so y'all guys never heard of her? Jenny.
I thought that was her daughter.
Now I don't know if I don't remember that though, but I know she was part of the Foot Clan, and she was intended to get Splinter. She wanted to kill Splinter, the rat, okay, and she didn't want to kill him because he was wise beyond his years or something. I don't know why, but when she changed her mind, she got stabbed in the back and she almost died. And Leonardo gave her a blood transfusion. So that's the story of Jenny, Genny. And comic books can teach you a lot about life because I've been a comic book fan forever, man. And you guys still playing? You reading your comic books lately?
Nope.
Yeah. I've been playing too many video games, so I basically lost count of the comic book world. My boy Chuck, who lives in Clareton, he has tons and tons of freaking comic books. And he told me to remind you, there's a 5th turtle now. Just remember that. Okay, that's what I wanted to say about that. Anything y'all want to say about the 5th turtle or anything with the comic book world?
No, who's dating her? Michelangelo, right?
Nobody. She's a part of the crew. She's a part of the crew. Okay, I don't know. I don't think turtles have penises.
That's all that matters. Who's dating her?
I don't think turtles have penises. Okay?
Oh, Jesus. Oh,
we don't know how many kids are watching this. So
no, they're not allowed. They're not.
You heard what happened to the Beatles? You heard what happened to the Beatles?
Oh my God.
What happened to the Beatles?
No, that's a long subject.
Okay. So let's talk about the last thing right here. Then we go on to the next person because we've taken up too much time with Thomas. Okay, let me see how to raise and discipline your children. My question is to you, Thomas. How do you raise your children? Do you raise them in a strict fashion, and a medium fashion, or a lighthearted fashion? I'm just curious.
I think I'm more of a medium fashion, honestly.
Okay. Frankie?
I let my kids explore to somewhat, and then sometimes I step in, or sometimes I step back because I see what their future going to do, and I let whatever happens to them happen to them for a reason, so they can learn. I think they actually learn better, like I said, from experience. The more you let them experience, the better they're going to be. And that's just the way I think.
What about you, Frankie?
All 3. It depends.
All 3.
All 3. Yeah, it's all 3. It's based on
dynamic. Okay, the 4th one, dynamic.
Like one kid, I will let walk to school by herself. Another kid, he's not mature enough to do that, or ride a bike by herself. But it's based on the maturity level and how you see them grow. Because every kid is different, and every situation is different, and they can change overnight or over a few days. You can see them mature. You say, you know what? It's time for you to let you go to a certain event by yourself. It's time to let you ride your bike. Oh, there's time for you to stay home by yourself. You're ready. I can see it. You're mature enough. But it all depends on the situation and how they mature. Based on, because sometimes they do things and they're not mature enough, and you be too strict on them and you'll break them. But if they're supposed to know better and they choose not to do better, then you should be strict on them. So it's a balance. It's a balance. You can't be strict on them on everything, and you can't be kind about everything. If you tell them
that's about those media.
Right. You tell them to do their homework, and you know they know how to do their homework. You know they know how to pull out their books and do their homework. You gotta lay down the law. Listen, you're gonna pay the consequences for this. But you're not gonna tell him build a house and they mess up, and you go, yo, you know what? I'm laying down a hammer. You want punishment for a year? Something crazy like that.
Yeah, I'm not that extreme. But go ahead, Maurice. What is your next? What is yours? What do you think? Medium, low, or high, or dynamic like Frankie?
I'm with Frankie. I think you have to be, actually. I think it's a have to be, because on the situation, again, you could say something to let's say, for instance, your child say something that your child tell you something that you don't agree with in life. I mean, like they don't believe in Jesus or something. I'm just being I'm going to the extreme. And you do believe in God, you believe in Jesus. You have to be sensitive to why they said that. You got to be, hey, based out your reasons, and you got to let them deal with it on their own way. but you got to be sensitive. And again, for instance, like Frankie, also, you got to be hard. If they know what they're doing, they know what they're saying, and they don't abide by, especially under your house, sometimes you got to be more strict. But I think you have to be all three. Depends on the situation, because don't forget, children do things sometimes that you weren't raised to believe in, or you were raised to do. And once they do it without the knowledge of it, or once they do something like that, you got to look at that child as an individual, and then go at it the way you feel to go at it as an adult. And hopefully, you know your children well enough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what I feel about it, I'm on the strict side. I'm not dynamic, but when I'm using strict, I'm using psychology to add on in dark psychology. It's not like I'm just strictly. I use psychology, so if I see my daughter like slightly autistic, I look at those things, the autism. I look at all these subpar psychological dysfunctions. When I see that, then I go upon, like, I believe my wife got possessed. Okay, so that's a whole new ball game right there. So I know it's not her fault. Okay, so, but she does. Eventually, things will turn my way. But she's not living with me, so now I'm separate. I'm strict to a point, and I have a certain low tolerance for certain things. And if those certain things, those little tiny things, I say is crossed, I'm done. Okay, because my tolerance is low, and my daughters worship me, and I worship my daughter. If I make a mistake, I will get down on the ground and I will kneel to my daughter if I made a mistake. And my daughter kneels to me if I make a mistake. We do this to understand communication. If I made a mistake, I only did it one time, but my daughter already did it 5 times. I said, you know, I have not been doing wrong now. I say this to her, but that's all I wanted to say. You know, it's a balance thing. You know, if she knows that she's messing up, she knows, she's self-aware. She knows this. But other than that, let's go on to the next subject, you guys. Okay, who's next? Tyson or Frankie?
Go ahead, Frankie.
Okay, Frankie has, if the heart was soiled, what shovel would you need to break the surface to plant the seed of love? Do you believe there are stages to love? And do you manifest love? Or how do you manifest love? Yeah, how do you manifest love? So if the heart was soiled or hard, right? Right, Frankie?
If it was yes.
What shovel?
What tool, basically, would you use to plant the seed of love?
Okay, go ahead. You got it.
So basically, when there is no love, what tool do you use? Meaning, what do you think that you use to plant the seed of love in a situation or a person? As a question.
Who you talking to? Go ahead.
Anybody can answer. Maurice, answer. Maurice.
So, what tool do I use to plant the seed of love?
Yes.
It's not really a one answer question. I think,
but you don't have to. You don't have to. You could give just one answer that you believe.
Oh, okay. First thing is understanding.
That's not a tool. You talking about a physical tool or a psychological tool?
Think about psychological tool. I believe.
Psychological.
Yeah, understanding, kindness, awareness. It's a lot of different answers to that question, I believe.
Be an example.
Yeah, that's a good one.
But how?
Because if somebody's heart is already hard, and the only way their heart gonna be able to break to become soft is be an example, no matter what happens.
Be an example, no matter what happens.
You show yourself.
But how do you show?
I think he's saying showing by example.
You show love. Yes, you show love to break all hardness.
By doing what?
Showing affection. It depends on who that person is. If you talk about somebody you're falling in love with, or you talk about showing love to a kid, it depends on now who you talking about.
Just you give me an example. What do you?
So wait, I'll give
you show love. The only way you could break something is by showing love. Because their heart is hardened by something. Or something happened to them.
But what tool do you use? What do you use?
I am the tool.
All right. If okay, there's when there's love, there's always someone who's giving and someone who's receiving.
Yep.
In any relationship.
And if your heart is hardened, I have to show you enough love where I can break your heart to show you that I love you enough where you're gonna show love back.
All right, and what can you use to do that?
Me.
Well,
No,
look. You know what I'll use? You know what I'll use? I'll use
What?
a reflective mirror. I don't have to do anything. I'll just put it on top of the soil. I will put the mirror on top of the soil. I don't have to do anything because you'll come running back to me because it has happened to me in the past. People, females especially, they will call me up like a year or two later. I realized that I fucked up, and I'm like, well, it's too late.
so,
And so, by using the mirror, you actually told the person about themselves. You told them, especially if you're a therapist like myself, you put something out there. I say, if you do this, I'm gonna put the mirror right here. See that hand? That's a mirror, okay? And I'm gonna put it on the soil so you can hurt yourself over and over and over psychologically. And if you come back to me, I'll still be there. Now, don't get me wrong, I'll be there, but I won't be there as if you wanted me to be before. Now that's gone because you messed up.
is that showing love?
Yes, it is, because I remember I told you I have a small tolerance level. If I put all the things you need, you see me, Frank, Maurice is like, oh my God.
Yeah, because you're
If I
really
put-
in a box.
Huh?
You're really in a box.
No, I'm not in the box. You're misunderstanding, Thomas. Remember what you said earlier in your past video. Don't
Okay.
judge unless you ask. A box is what? What is a box, Frank Thomas? I don't
They
understand.
only see, you're only seeing your vision.
It is
Hold on.
my vision.
All right, hold on. Frankie, come back. Let's go back to Frankie.
All right.
Okay.
All right. What I was really getting at is that there are a couple tools, but there's tools that's undeniable when it comes to showing love. Forgiveness, sacrifice, grace, and mercy. Now,
Yeah, I got all those. I got all of those.
Now these things are undeniable. Like there's nobody could dispute. It's probably more. But when you have the strength, because you got to have strength. I think there's ascending love and there's descending love. Ascending love will never understand descending love, so to speak. If you take a mother and a child, or parents in general, children usually don't understand the parents' love until they get to that point. Then they wake up and they say, wow, I understand. But they could never understand it when that love was ascending down to them. We never understand God's love because it's descending. Until we ascend to that level or next to him, we will try to understand it. We'll never completely understand it. But going back to the children and the parents, so the person who's giving a love, those four things is undeniable. That it gotta be when somebody forgive you wholeheartely, they can't help but to say, "Wow, you did something amazing." Mercy, if somebody's supposed to, like with your children, if you're supposed to get a punishment because the child did wrong, and you show them mercy, you know what? I'm not going to give you the complete punishment. I'm just going to give you a part of the punishment. Right? And then you got to sacrifice, what people do all the time but don't even realize it. You sacrifice your time, you sacrifice your money, you sacrifice so much. Some people don't even realize it, but these are seeds that are being planted. And the organic thing about love is that we don't even understand how it those relationships get so tight, and they get so strengthened by sacrifice, by grace and mercy. But it's always
So we understand your point, Frankie. Okay, Maurice, what do you think about this? Go ahead.
So I understand exactly what he's saying. To put it in more layman's terms, is that when someone gives you love, when you give your children love, he's 100% right. They're not going to understand what you do for them at all. They're not going to understand the sacrifice.
Not all children are like that, though. Some children will understand. Okay.
Yeah. They not understand why you go to work, because my son, Daddy, you going to work again? He don't like me going to work, but that's a form of sacrifice, and they're not going to understand it till they do get older. They're not going to understand the things that you do and what you had to do, to try to give them the best life that you can. And I agree 100% that is I don't know how to say it, but that is true love. When you have that sacrifice, and they won't understand until they get older, because I don't think we understand how much our parents loved us until we got older. It was like, oh, wow, I didn't realize what they did for me to get where I'm at today as this person.
Definitely.
Okay, so what's the next one? Okay, and then so the
Thomas
next
didn't
one,
answer.
huh?
We ain't let Thomas answer.
Okay, go ahead, Thomas.
I did answer.
Oh,
You
okay.
did.
All right.
Okay, so let's see. What? Oh man, what the heck happened? Okay. Yeah, I'm back here now. Okay,
You're freezing a little bit.
hold on, wait a minute. Okay, let me see.
Yeah, I think you're frozen.
Yeah, I'm back.
There you go.
Because my bubble disappeared. Okay, somebody did something and it disappeared. The manifestation of love is there different levels of love, Frankie?
Yeah,
That's your question.
that's just the growing relationship. Like when you first meet somebody, I think you're definitely attracted to them first. You have a physical attraction. It's not love, but it's the first stages. You have some type of you have a relationship. You have a relationship with them if you get to that point. But I think every relationship need time. And you ever had a friend that you stay with, you hang out with all the time, and you know exactly, like you guys don't got to tell each other nothing. Basically, you guys just know each other's thinking or what y'all want to do. Basically, or y'all got a genuine connection. Mm-hmm. But then after some time, you separate from that person, and you try to get back for quite some time. You try to get back with that person. You like something feels different. You feel like something feels different. The relationship is not the same.
So what do you think about that, Thomas?
What was the question?
The manifestation. Are there different levels of love, stages of love? Yes, that's his question. Yeah.
Basically, I think love is just built.
It's built.
It's built.
Right.
Oh, it's built.
I think when, say for instance, I use a regular relationship between man and woman. When they first look at each other, they're actually looking at two different sides of the page. Men 9 times out of 10, men is looking one way at that woman one way, and the woman is looking at that man. The woman's looking at that man in a totally different way. But it's not love there. It's two different versions there, but it's not love. Love is actually going through problems, going through stress, and it's built upon to say, I'm willing to stick it out with you. I'm willing to fight with you. So love is actually built on. And
so there's 3 people watching this. There's 3 people watching this. I just want you to know that. Just keeping a mental note. 3 people are watching this. Okay.
It's actually built upon on. I don't think love never really. When people say, "Oh, I fell in love by at first sight," I really don't believe that's true.
Right.
You fell with something else.
You fell in lust.
I wouldn't say it like that, but yes, 9 times out of 10.
I'm gonna disagree with that. I'm gonna disagree with that. Thomas, there is something called kindred spirit. It happens 4% of the population in the world. There are some people who look just the same as themselves. So let's say, for instance, I'm a 7. I meet another female who's a 7. It has happened to where someone just clicked. It's an intuition thing, and once they started talking, everything flowed, and it's rare. It's called kindred spirit. So that's another subject for another day. You should look it up. It's called kindred love, and it's not a soulmate. It's not a soulmate. But go ahead, continue on talking, Thomas. Go ahead. I just wanted to mention that one little thing in there. But go ahead.
No, that's all I have to say. I think love is built. Mm-hmm. Period.
So, okay. What about you, Maurice? What about?
When it comes to love, I agree. I think love is built. I think love takes love takes its time.
Decades.
I think sometimes we believe we're in love and it's not true. How can I say this? We've been in a relationship. We've been in relationships so let's say man and woman. We've been in a relationship with a woman for years. And you know, all this time, hey, maybe in the beginning you were in lust, then you built it to love, but it wasn't true love. You know, because true love, I think, is a two people. It's 2 people. It can't be one-sided. True love, you both. Again, what Thomas said, you're gonna fight for each other. You're gonna sacrifice each other.
Right.
You're gonna do things for each other that on the outside world that don't look normal.
Right.
They don't even see it.
Yeah, they don't even see it. So I think that it's built, but we have to be careful of what's love and what's, I want to say, with lack of better terminology, over caring, because you're afraid what's going to happen to that person if that person leaves, or you're afraid what's going to happen to you if you leave that person. You're afraid of the situation more than you're afraid of being together. If you understand what I'm saying.
That's
Yeah,
true.
my perspective of it is it's all about the self. So you cannot love no one without knowing yourself. This is very
This is
important.
true.
Very true.
Most people don't know themselves, so they get attached to this lust and this platonic relationships. And when I was younger, I started learning real quick. Like, why is they're completely incompatible. They look incompatible. It's a lust thing. This girl tells me, "Oh, I'm attracted to this guy because he's 6'2". I'm like, it's lust. Okay, that's a soulmate. That's who they're making out to be. But if you start learning who you are, you really have to really be careful because you have standards. Your standards are there when you know yourself. When you know yourself, you become stronger. And if you try to teach someone those standards that you have, it might not be compatible in the long run. And this is why it's not good to fall in love deeply for men in particular, because women are more seasonal, men are more stable when they set in their ways. So when women change after you be in a relationship with a female, that's why I'm always waiting. I'm waiting for her to fuck up, okay? So I can have the advantage, okay? Waiting for her to fuck up. Because when I told you who I was, and you're playing with magic, you're playing with fire. And I can't do nothing about it. I'm not responsible. Okay. That's all I gotta say about that, brothers. Let's go on with the next one, okay? Let me see what the
I
next
think it's
question is.
Maurice.
Go ahead. Maurice already said something about it.
No, it's about the next subject.
Okay, who's next? Okay, let me see my button. Now, Maurice was like beginning of money's control. Let's talk about that next, okay?
All right.
Beginning of money control.
All right, give me 1
Because
second.
my bubble for my messenger app kind of slipped in behind the overlay. I don't know what happened to it. My bubble, I usually just click the button and I don't care. I'll just push the side screen
You got to
for
push
it.
the screen around.
No, it won't work. Okay, so don't worry about it. I just push the side button here and I could look at it real quick. It says beginning of money control, learning how to know your wealth, dealing with your 9 to 5, knowing the difference between your job and what you do for a living. Okay, you heard me?
Yep. All right. So first, I want to say thank you. I love that we come together and talk about these different subjects. Change one life motivation. You know what it is. You'll see me move back and forth. I'm on 2 different cameras. All right. All right. So we're going to start with beginning of money control. So anyone want to get the information, I'm reading a book basically. Forgot the name of the book. I'll throw it in later if I want to remember.
You always should write something down. Always have a notepad because you might want to talk about another subject in another video. You write. I got a notepad here just in case.
So basically, the beginning of money control is basically once you start getting paid for your job or your performance. And basically what that means is that once you start going to work like a 9 to 5, that begins money controlling you. So what I'm trying to say is that once you put a dollar amount on your value, you start that rat race. And basically what that rat race is that you start accumulating things that you don't need. You start purchasing things that you don't need. You start getting basically what's called you start chasing, basically paying household bills, start getting basically things that you need like cars, shoes, and clothes. So all that money that you're trying to chase in your 9 to 5, you're just wasting on things that's not valuable. And it doesn't matter how much you make, because what you do is you continue that rat race. So meaning that if you start off making $10 an hour, you're going to live that $10 an hour or above that means. But if you start making $15 an hour, you're just going to have the same amount of money because the money controls you. You're just going after the money, and every time you get that money, you're going to start spending a little bit more. So you're
You know
not
what
going to
I
be
have to
able.
say about that? You know what I
What's
say
that?
about that? If you're making like 10,000, I can't stand people that I encounter in my life. Oh my God. This female I used to talk to, she always wanted like $16 an hour, okay? And I'm like, she's already making 12. That's $3 extra. I said that if you learn to focus in on being frugal, because I'm frugal, okay? I buy things that I need, and I very rarely get things that I want, because if you focus on those wants and you don't have a team, Thomas, you should know what I'm talking about, team development. You don't have a team. Like if your kids is working, you can put it in a pool. Making $15 an hour is a lot of freaking money. And then if your son is making money, You gotta conglomerate, put that stuff together. Then you can get what you want. You can't even begin to think about any wants. I tried to tell my wife. I said, you can't get that crock pot. You can't get that because you know why? We got to get the small stuff first. That small stuff is real important. The bills and your basic needs. That's all you need. Like my Xbox is given to me by my friends and my associates. I don't buy shit. Okay? The people buy things for me, and I can get them to buy me things because I'm a service to them. But if you got family, you're already rich. You're in America, and if you're in America, think about the other countries. You're making $15 an hour. You should be giving some of that money to either one or two things: them overseas, and then me. Okay.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
But
Tom
family is
Brady?
important.
Oh.
For Maurice, family is important when it comes to that 9 to 5. Okay. Family.
I think Maurice hit it on the head the first part that he came up with, what he said. A lot of people make money. Say, for instance, you do make $10 an hour. If you stay, instead of trying to spend over the $10 an hour, if you stay under budget, basically what he's trying to say is you'll always end up being richer and you always stay ahead. So now when you get up to make the $15 an hour, all right, instead of your spending level going up to $20 an hour, maybe we go up to spending $12 an hour like now. But you're still keeping that extra money in your pocket for savings and to invest, to always invest in improving yourself, to be more, to do more. It's all about keeping in a budget to save, the saving, so you actually can do better.
Mm-hmm. Frankie, what do you think? What's your take on this?
What's the question? The whole question?
The beginning of money control.
I think it's being mindful of what you have, and when it comes to controlling your money, is basically knowing what you need and what you don't need. Like you said, a person can make 15. Some people can make $20 an hour. Some people can make $30 an hour, and they still feel as they don't have enough money. But it's all about money management, also, and also not doing things because you want it. Do things based on what you need, and exactly knowing yourself and what you really want out of life. And you should not be stuck in a position where you're making $10 or $15 an hour for your entire life, because the work is just a tool for you to just keep going. You got to build yourself and work on basically what you truly desire to do.
Let me ask you a question here. I have a question. Do you believe that just being stuck at $15 an hour is not cool?
No, I think that's. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Maurice. That's my question. I said, do you believe that you have to achieve more than just $15 an hour?
No, that's not the problem. Is not the money. The problem is actually the person.
Right.
So the money is basically just something to keep you. Right. And the problem is the person about how you're utilizing your money. So to tag on what Tom is saying is, if you're not investing in yourself to build yourself on the side, and you're spending an abundance of your money, meaning abundance of your money on just the bills and clothes and the sneakers and things that are not valuable, things are not going to increase in value, you're basically running that rat race, because no matter how much money you make, you're just going to keep buying things that's not going to increase in the value. So it's not about the hourly rate. It's about the person and how they utilize their money.
Okay. Anything else you want to say on this, Thomas?
No.
But I think it's value and wisdom more than money.
Yeah, true.
It's getting skills and getting things that you truly want to do instead of money. Like Maurice was saying in the beginning, like if you work for a company and they paying you $10 an hour, basically they own you. If you're going home spending that $10 an hour every week and not trying to develop yourself, not trying to get any wisdom of the things you really want to do, chances are you're gonna be there forever. And you're never gonna be happy, you're never gonna develop yourself, and you're never gonna get to the point where you're satisfied with what you're doing. Because you keep on washing your money down the drain on things that's not things you probably don't even want.
What I got to say about that, my friend worked at this place for at least over 20 years. I got him this job. I told him, hey, man, You got this job. Now he's getting like $11, some $12. He's a cook, and he's always on his feet. And so basically, I told him, I said, if you stick at this job and you filed your taxes, you ain't gonna be working for a long time. Okay, you ain't gonna be working forever. Nothing lasts forever. And he loves his job. And I told him it gets stressful sometimes. I encourage him to keep working. And sometimes he don't have enough time to go outside. Sometimes he gets tired and stuff like that. And he's by himself with his brother, okay, over in Clearton. And I said that you keep up the good work, this will all pay out in the end. Your retirement money is going to be huge. You know that. Okay, so look for a goal towards that. You don't necessarily have to work to the age of 67. There are ways to get your Social Security disability early. There is ways. But of course, you have to basically have enough cunningness to realize that your magic number is 50. Nobody should be working past 50. Okay, there's ways of getting your Social Security the legal way without going past 50, but nobody knows about that. Okay, but other than that, you making 15 an hour, keep up. Just file your taxes. I'm telling you, file your taxes. Anything else?
No.
Okay, so what else? Let me say. What else did you say? You said Maurice says, hold on. Okay, learning how to know your wealth, dealing with your 9 to 5. Right?
Yep.
And the other one was, okay, knowing the difference between your.
You lost him. That's that 5G service.
The way he wanted so bad.
I don't even know are we still alive though. So
I don't even know. Are we still alive?
yeah, we still alive. I see him in the corner.
Oh.
He's probably refreshing his service right now.
Oh. There you go. Anything rebooting.
There we go.
Okay, there it goes.
All right, cool.
Yeah, that's
All
when
right.
when I exited out the browser, it did that. Okay.
All right, no worries. All right, so my next topic is basically knowing. Hold on one second. Is knowing your wealth when it comes to your 9 to 5. So when it comes to 9 to 5, you have to be real with yourself. You're going to have to take a survey of the things that you do and what benefits the company. Do you affect the bottom line in the company? Is the company more productive or less with you around? Is it if it comes to finances, is it increasing or is it decreasing? A lot of people with their 9 to 5 feels like this is not. They don't care about this. These people, I feel, is going to be stuck at their jobs and they really have no real career. And there's nothing wrong with that. But let me. Sorry, I'm getting back away. Let me ask you this: why do you think some people can get paid $5,000 an hour? $96 a minute.
Maurice, mute your mic and unmute it. Try that.
All right, hold on.
I think that's it. I think he just fixed it.
Hello?
There you go.
It's better?
Nope.
No?
There you go.
You good?
It's fixed. Yep.
All right. So $96 a minute, $1 per $1.66 a second, and $137,000 a day. When a franchise is worth $2.5 billion, that's when someone get paid that. But the year before that, the franchise was making $2.3 billion. Year before that, $1.8 billion. And that's the value of just one employee. And that's knowing your wealth in a broad span. That employee can move anywhere in any company and the company knows that. Because that person is more valuable. That person brings the value to the company that you can pay them $5,000 an hour. Because as you can see, he increased the value of that company.
Okay, so there's 2 people watching this, and I have a question for you, Maurice. Are you in a union?
No.
Oh, that's not good. Okay. Well, not being in a union can be detrimental to your idea.
Not correctly, because if you invest in yourself and you know your value, you will get what you're worth. But you got to know.
But what I'm saying is that you know what a union is, right?
Yes, I know what a union is.
Okay, so they protect your job. So just in case if you're doing everything correctly, they won't have some petty excuse to fire you. Okay, you get what I'm saying? That
but it
union
doesn't.
protects your job.
So
Okay.
that's back to my.
It don't work
That's
like
my
that
point.
though.
Yeah, that's back
Yeah,
to my
I
saying.
know it don't work like that. Yeah, you're right. Yep.
That's back to
I
my
know,
saying that
I know,
if
I know people that's in the union. I know people that's in the union, and they do it totally backwards. They want to screw up on purpose and then ask the union to beg and please to protect them. If you're
but
doing your job right, guess what? You don't need the union.
but that's back to my statement is that if I'm bringing a company, if I increase the company value by thousands of dollars a year, it don't matter if I'm on a union or not. Someone's going to notice. Someone's going to pay me what I'm worth. Someone's going to value my services because of what I did for that company. The reason why they pay Nike pays LeBron James $100 million, because LeBron James makes them $1 billion. That's why. And that's the point, just knowing your worth and your value.
Yeah, unions protect your job when you ain't did nothing wrong. Okay, so it's easy if you ain't did nothing wrong. But if you do something stupid,
Even when
okay,
you do something wrong, they protect you. It's their job. They always
yeah,
try
but
to protect the
sometimes
union
that
guy.
don't work though. That don't work because I was at a union and this woman was crying. She was like, "I'm with a union. I'm trying to fight," but they wasn't fighting for her. I think it was some sort of racism thing going on. I don't know exactly the details, but she said she lost and she didn't do nothing wrong. Okay, and she lost her job, and she was at that job for 14 years. Okay, so I don't know. Okay,
Frankie,
Frankie,
unmute your phone. Your mic.
Frankie, what do you think about?
I think, well, on unions, I think every job needs a union. I know companies who just cut people just because there's a bottom line. There's a bottom line. They know that if they cut a certain department, it's going to show on a stock. It's going to show that they made maybe $2-3 million, which is a force, which is a force report basically. They'll cut 2 or 3 departments and say, you know what, we just didn't need them anymore. Make $5 million at the end of the year because they didn't have to pay those people. So I think, especially in this climate, I think people need unions. But I do understand what Maurice is saying, that basically if you're doing a job above par and you doing it efficiently, chances are somebody's going to notice what you're doing and they're going to see the value in them and they're going to want to keep you, and they'll go to the limits of paying you more because they know your value, and that's what building yourself and putting yourself at a higher bar than the average person.
Yeah, and that's all I mean. There's no that you're worth more sometimes with the company put off.
Right, of course, because I see people who they abuse.
Yep.
People that abuse. Some people don't do it in an intelligent way, right? They think their value is based on minor things. Like if I can get you to do the register and clean the bathroom and just basic things, right? That's no value. That's just the company saying, you know what? We just killed 3 birds with 1 stone, right? But they can get rid of you at any time because you know what? They can always fill those positions because that's basic jobs. It's just that they're gonna abuse you because you know what? I don't got to pay 2 other people to do that job because you're doing it, and that's you got to watch out for that also. You got to watch out for that also, where they abuse you and they make you do multiple jobs that 3 people supposed to be doing. You got 1 person doing and they're struggling and they're making money off of it.
Somebody got a vaccine somewhere.
Hold on.
Is it fixed?
No. I still hear it.
Hello?
It's off.
Yeah, you have to speak to know if it's your mic. If you speak, you can tell if it's your
Hello?
mic. Hello, can you hear me now?
It might be made down.
You hear me?
Yeah, I hear you, Frankie.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not me.
Okay. Anybody else got something else to say?
Okay, let me see what the last thing. Hold on. It says knowing the difference between your job and what you do for a living.
All right, this one's gonna be pretty short. So
Somebody else got something on.
Okay, so all y'all, you can mute your mic. All of you, mute your mic.
there we go. Wait, just fix this now.
There you go.
Testing. Okay, testing. Okay, now you.
No, there you go
Is it
again.
me?
Yes,
So
yours.
it's me then. It's me.
That was Mendel.
Is somebody trying to listen to it and talk at the same time?
No, I don't know. It might be the signal. I don't know. It's temporary. It's
There you
gone.
go.
Yeah, it's probably me. I hear you echo. I hear echo from you.
I don't have nothing else on.
Okay, yeah. What about you, Maurice?
Nope.
Frankie?
Yeah, what?
I
There you
muted
go.
myself.
It's good.
I muted myself.
It's Frankie.
It's back.
He is back. All
All
right.
right. Let me.
There you go. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. So this is going to be pretty simple. Your job is basically your 9 to 5. So that's what you basically you go to work. That's your job, whatever you do. It could be lawyer, doctor, police officer, teacher, whatever. Okay. But what you do is basically your calling. So your calling is basically something that's going to touch you, something that's going to fill your heart, something that you want to get involved in to help out and to participate in. The trick is don't be confused with other people's calling and your calling. There's people that want to help veterans. There's people that want to help the homeless. Yes, those are great causes, but it might not be what you're called for. It might not be what you're here to do. Yeah, you might feel some type of way with them, like, hey, I want to help out, I want to benefit them. But if you're not passionate about it and you don't feel it with your heart, you will help out, but you will not stick it through 100% because your calling still is going to be in your heart. And that's the difference between your calling and your 9 to 5.
I agree with that 100%. Sometimes we make choices to have a 9 to 5. We do a 9 to 5, and it's just a job to keep us maintaining what we do. But we never chase what's inside our heart to do it 100%, 110%. Bottom line.
Okay. It's a nice conversation you guys. Okay, well, how do you like the Restream? How is it like? How's it
Yeah,
cool?
I ain't say nothing about the subject.
Okay, go ahead, Frankie.
He's a
Frankie!
bad host. You fired his host. Thomas, you host the next week.
I was just watching.
I'm going to sleep on Maurice. I'm going to sleep.
I was just watching something with this pastor called Dr. Miles Monroe. He died in a plane crash, and this is exactly what he was talking about. He was talking about how people think their job and their education is what they're called to do. But you got a talent and you got a gift. Everyone has it inside of them. And the fact, if you work a 9 to 5, he was saying 9 to 5 is your work. It's not your gift. It's not your talent. It's just your work. That's what you do to make money. When you get home, you're supposed to be always, your hands supposed to never be, your hands never supposed to be basically idle. When you get home, you're supposed to be working on your talent, working on your gift. Now, that's what you're really supposed to be doing in life, your gift. And when you get to a point where you done develop that talent to the point where people going to notice it. And you know what's going to happen? You know what's going to happen to work? It's going to be out the door. There's no more work for you. Your talent is your work.
Make money for you.
It's going to make room for you. You're going to say, hey, you're going to say, we need you here. And there's no one that can do it like you. Why? Because it's your gift. It's your talent that you was born with, that you got, that you developed, where even if a person tried to match you, they can't match you because it's your gift. And that's the big difference. But the work is just for the moment. But if you're not developing your gift and your talent, you'll be stuck there forever.
I say, it's good to have two talents at once, multitask, because I was a slave when I was working. I was lifting refrigerators and moving warehouse work, and my back was moving. The strange thing is that if you're working at your job, as long as you're moving around, time tends to fly a little bit more faster. If you're sitting there idle, I don't think I can handle a job like that. I got to keep moving. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How you been, Ryan? All I forgot to say, Ryan, he is one of my students from Bangladesh as well. He's up. His time is 10 hours ahead of ours. So his time is pretty much, I think, 11 a.m. right now. Okay. So other than that, hello to you. I'm doing okay. Okay, let me see. He said, you're absolutely right, BOC. Okay, what does BOC mean anyway, Frankie?
It means multiple things. First, it means body of Christ, and another thing, it means brothers of the community.
All right. Okay. Yeah, he just popped up in here to say hello. Okay. So we've been talking for quite some time now, you guys. Okay, it's a nice stream. How do you like the restream? Is it cool? Do you like it on multiple platforms too?
It's cool.
All right, we're gonna do this again next Sunday. Same bat time, same bat channel. Thank you very much, my brothers. Of course, we all are a part of each other, brothers of Christ, and of course, the brothers of blood. And of course, I will post your Cash App and also your information as soon as this is done. Beat PTYM Nation, and you have to give me your information, Maurice. Change one life, and you got to give me your information so I can post it. Okay.
Okay.
And so you have a good night. And of course, I'm gonna end this stream, and you guys can actually stay on if you want. But I'm just trying to tell you, when I end the stream, it's not completely over. Okay. And yeah, anyone who's watching out there, there's 2 viewers watching us. Thank you for watching us. And we will be back on Sundays at 9 p.m. If basically they keep up the schedule. Peace.
Calabunga.
PTYM Nation, baby.
Cowabunga.
Pizza.
Change one life.